Hello and welcome to a brand new video format. In this mini-series, I will be covering some disturbing and not very well known oddities that have originated from Japan. I've been collecting various real-life unsolved mysteries and just plain creepy occurrences on the Japanese side of the internet, some of which go pretty deep and are not very well known. In this video, I ask you to join me and explore some disturbing things from Japan. Take a look at this image. Pretty cool, huh? But what is it? Is it a monkey? Is it a bird? Is it a homeless person with no legs? Maybe. But where did this image come from? In June of last year, a certain tweet became quite the hot topic of discussion amongst Japanese Twitter users. The Twitter post contained a mysterious photo, along with the caption, "I saw a monkey or something on my business trip. What is this?" The photo showed a desolate road at nighttime, illuminated only by the street lights, with something unrecognizable in the center of the road. After taking a closer look at the image, this thing appears to be a head with a body, holding itself up on its two arms. The thing's silhouette is pretty similar to that of a person, but looks strange enough that it could be something else. Something resembling a Teketeke. A Teketeke is a semi-popular Japanese urban legend about the ghost of a schoolgirl who is said to have fallen onto a railway line where her body was cut in half by a train. The Teketeke is a vengeful spirit and lurks around urban areas around train stations during the dark. Since she has no lower body, she travels on her hands, dragging her upper torso across the floor, making a scratching sound, which is where her name comes from. It's said that if she encounters an individual, she'll likely chase them and slice them in half at the torso, killing them in such a way that mimics her own disfigurement. Understandably, many Twitter users suspected that this creature in the middle of the road could be this infamous urban legend. I mean, from a distance, it does look pretty similar to the vengeful spirit. This was only one of the many theories on the image, with other users taking a much more logical approach to determining the strange object. After users questioned the original poster about what they actually saw, the OP said that the mysterious object was indeed moving and was dragging itself across the pavement. According to this, any theories that suggest that the anomaly was an object are instantly ruled out. Additionally, the OP provided a rough location of where the image was taken and revealed that it was taken at 10 o'clock at night. So if this object was moving, we can assume that it's some sort of creature. Due to the creature being able to bend its arms for a long period of time, animals such as dogs, deers, and boars are thrown out the window. Also, when comparing the size of the creature to the size of the road, its body seems to be quite large, so animals such as birds are ruled out as well. However, it is worth noting that several people believe this creature is a crow. Seems like a bit of a stretch, until you see this. Apparently, crows will often do this as a way of sunbathing. They do this by dropping their wings and covering their feet with their tail. At the right angle, it kinda looks like their legs and tails are missing, and that they're standing on their wings. It kinda looks like a gorilla, but it also kinda looks like the creature from the photo. This does seem like a very likely theory, until you take the size of the creature into account. I don't know about you, but I don't think I've seen a crow this big before. Other than the animals previously mentioned, it's also possible that this creature could be a bear or a monkey, two animals that are quite common in Japan. But after looking at the thickness of the creature's arms in comparison to their body, it seems quite unlikely that this is a bear, which means only one thing: it's a monkey. Even the original poster suspected that it was a monkey when uploading the photo, but one thing stands out when looking closely at the creature. The creature is standing on two arms, and monkeys, they stand on all fours. Despite this, the photo was taken from a front-on angle, and it is possible that the monkey's hind legs weren't visible, but when you realize that the creature has its arms spread out, this seems very unlikely. Another theory is that the creature was a monkey sitting on its hind legs, with its arms stretched out, kinda like this image here. But another thing that sticks out is that monkeys aren't nocturnal. Just like us, monkeys sleep at night, so it's very unlikely for a monkey to be dragging itself across the pavement at 10 o'clock at night. So if it's not a monkey, what is it? Fake. It's probably fake. After staring at the image for quite a while, it becomes a bit suspect. Mostly due to the fact that the closest light source to the creature is on a diagonal right angle, but the shadow of the creature is cast directly underneath it. Also, it's worth noting the blurry quality of the image. While it is true that flip phones with terrible cameras are very common in Japan, especially amongst businessmen such as the original poster, it's not the quality of the image that's the main concern, it's the quality of the creature. Every single object within the image is blurred and smeared to the left. Everything in the image except the creature. This just makes the creature look very out of place, and it kinda lowers my faith that this image is real. Whether or not the image is altered, it still managed to become quite popular on the Japanese side of Twitter, and definitely spooked out a bunch of people. Most likely, the image is fake, but it still managed to get myself and others to speculate its origin, which is definitely worth giving some credit. On November 29th, 2008, a YouTube video was uploaded by the name White House, Why You Never Became a Dancer. The video depicts a very eerie image of a woman that's been heavily edited to look like nightmare fuel. Throughout the video, the image is animated to say a bunch of mentally insane ramblings, while very intense music plays in the background. Yeah, definitely a little spooky. Since this video was uploaded all the way back in 2008, it's managed to gain almost 4 million views, and has become quite notorious as one of the most creepy videos on YouTube. Since this video's inception, people have been asking, who is the girl in the video? Where is the image from? Throughout the years, there's been numerous search efforts for the original photo, with people reverse image searching it and yielding no results. For over a decade, this image was completely lost. This was until the Japanese website, the Tubero, made a post discussing this mystery. The post outlined a brief overview of this image and the mystery surrounding its origin. The user has stated that they had searched everywhere on the internet for this image, but they could not find it anywhere. That was until the user received a message from a certain viewer of the website containing the origin of the image. As it turns out, the image had originated from a magazine containing an article about the Japanese serial killer Kiyoshi Okubo. The man had murdered a total of 8 different women across the span of only 2 months, doing so by luring women on the street into his car. Fortunately, this case was solved back in 1973, and the killer would be executed 3 years later in 1976. One of his victims was a girl by the name of Reiko Takemura, a 21-year-old from Gunma Prefecture. Here is the photo of her found within the article. The context behind this image just makes this video 10 times darker, and it is kinda sad to think about. While we now know the origin of this haunting image, the origin of this magazine article is still a mystery. It's unknown where this magazine comes from. For a while, this image had the same level of mystery behind it as the Jeff the Killer image, which I'm very close to finding, by the way. The fact that an image is heavily altered just makes it that much harder to find, and I'm glad the internet was able to uncover its origins. Throughout the years, there's been so many different Reddit accounts that have been well known for spamming subreddits and just being overall creepy. From EA video games to Cash22, there's been no shortage of cryptic and spooky posts made by Reddit accounts. From all these accounts, there is one that has stood out to me, and has always been in the back of my mind since I first found out about it. About 6 years ago, an account by the name Fujita Giken 001 appeared on Reddit, making its debut by commenting on a thread on the subreddit Today I Learned. The comment read, "I faced too serious problem of human rights at Fujita Giken, Thailand. Please help me." Considering that the thread this was commented on was about the discovery of a Buddha statue in a cave, it's safe to say that this comment was a bit out of place. After this one comment, the user would go on to post the exact same phrase a total of 36 times over the course of less than a month. The user would comment this phrase on popular threads within various subreddits, with only one exception. In Japanese, the user commented, "It is power harassment in Thailand." At the time this was happening, various users attempted to contact him, replying to his many comments. However, the person never broke out of the constant copy-pasting to reach out in a more personal manner. When taking a closer look, the contents of the comments always mentioned Asahidake, Thailand. With a quick Google search, Asahidake, Thailand appears to be a branch of a Japanese manufacturing company in Bang Pharang, Thailand. What's most disturbing is that when taking a look at the company's reviews on Google, they're littered with accusations of human rights violations. Whether or not these reviews are made by trolls in response to this Reddit account is unknown, but it's worth considering that they could be fake. Due to the nature of the account, it's not clear if it's a troll, a spam bot, or is a genuine call for help. Since the account stopped posting about 6 years ago, no new major breakthroughs have been made in regards to this mystery. Despite the immense speculation on this case, I have no doubt that the person behind this account was a real person crying out for help. The fact that several of the comments contain unique typos, and the fact that this company has several accusations of human rights violations, make me believe that this Reddit user is the real deal. As there's no leads, and not many people are still looking into it, it's safe to say that this case will remain unsolved. Japan has quite a lot of stigma surrounding toilets. The laboratory is home to so many different superstitions and folk tales, from Hanako-san, Akamanto, and Akaname. There's quite a lot of creepy ghost stories that originate from the Poopatorium. However, out of all of these toilet mysteries, one that stands out is the unsolved case of a body found in a waste tank. In the late afternoon of February 28, 1989, in Fukushima, Japan, a 23-year-old female teacher noticed something strange as she went to do her business. It was the type of toilet that required the user to squat down, that are pretty common in certain areas of Japan. As she went to do her business, the woman saw a shoe when she looked into the pit of the toilet. Out of curiosity, she went outside to open the lid of the sewerage tank, only to find a human foot. Understandably spooked out, she screamed for help and ran to one of her co-workers to call the police. When the authorities got there, they managed to remove the body from the tank, covered in sewage. After the body was washed and was recognizable, the victim was quickly identified by a local as the 26-year-old Naoyuki Ogino. The body was found on February 28th, however the autopsy showed that Naoyuki died 2 days earlier on the 26th. Naoyuki himself was reported to have gone missing on the 24th, after he told his father that he was going to run some errands and never came back. Naoyuki was a promising and reputable young man living in the region. He was well known among the locals. Naoyuki worked as a sales manager of a company supporting a nearby nuclear power plant. According to the locals, he was an upstanding and reliable person, which is why both his father and the villagers were outraged when the police concluded that Naoyuki had died while trying to peep at women in the bathroom. A total of 4,000 signatures were collected by the locals to petition the police to reopen the case. However, the police denied the request, and the case remains ambiguous. While the case is quite tragic, what makes it so bizarre and disturbing is the position of the body and how it got into the waste tank. The toilet was an old and simple model. The septic tank was shaped like a sharp U. One pipe is for the waste to come in, and the other is for the cleaner to remove and clear the waste. The diameter of the cleaning pipe was 14 inches. The height of the pipe was 42 inches. The flat pipe at the bottom was 18 inches high and 49 inches long. Naoyuki was lying on the flat bottom portion of the pipe. The position he was found in baffled people. Naoyuki was lying on his back with his legs folded upward, like he was in a fetal position. What's even more strange is that even though it was winter, Naoyuki did not have his shoes or shirt on. Instead, Naoyuki was found holding his neatly folded shirt to his chest. What's even more fascinating was that Naoyuki was 5'7", with the shoulder length of 16 inches, which means Naoyuki had to squeeze himself into the pipe with great difficulty. The firefighters and police struggled to get the body out, and in the end, they had to destroy the entire pipe to remove the body. This shows that it's quite impossible for someone else to put the body into the pipe in such a strange position. According to the police, The cause of death was hypothermia. Besides some scratches, there were no traumatic injuries. Also, Naoyuki's car was found nearby, with the key still in and the door unlocked. For unknown reasons, Naoyuki, who was wearing pants, one shoe, and holding his neatly folded shirt to his chest, decided to squeeze himself into a small pipe of a woman's bathroom septic tank, and then died there of hypothermia. He didn't even try to use his shirt to cover himself. Even if he was desperately trying to peep at women, it would still be an extremely dumb thing to do, since the toilet was poorly lit and nothing could be seen. Furthermore, no man in his right mind would try to climb into such a tight space. Not to mention, the smell would have been unbearable. It would have been impossible to escape. Also, it's impossible to turn in such a narrow space, and the other pipe was even smaller, around 8 inches. Climbing into the pipe would have been clear suicide, and not a pretty one. All of this would have been common knowledge to Naoyuki. So why did he climb in? No matter what the reason was, we may possibly never know what truly led to Naoyuki crawling into those pipes. Mount Asahi is the tallest mountain on the Japanese island of Hokkaido, a part of the Daisetsuzan volcanic group. Located in the northern part of the Daisetsuzan National Park, its native name is Kamui Mintara, which means the playground of the gods. Due to its large stature, Mount Asahi is a very popular hiking destination during the summer, and for skiers and snowboarders in the winter. On the afternoon of July 24th, 1989, on the path from nearby Mount Kurodake to Mount Asahi, 2 experienced mountaineers visiting from Tokyo became lost while hiking the mountain. While going through the climbing route, they deviated from the mountain and south towards a river. After the authorities were notified of their disappearance, the Hokkaido police searched for several hours in a helicopter to find the missing pair. While the Hokkaido police did not find the lost hikers, they found something else, a giant SOS sign. From what the authorities could tell, it had been constructed by cutting down and stacking 19 birch trees, each roughly 5 meters long and 3 logs high. The 2 missing people were located about 3 kilometers north of the sign and were safely rescued. The Hokkaido police assumed that the SOS sign had been made by the missing hikers, but when questioned, the 2 claimed that they knew nothing about it. Assuming that there was another unknown victim, authorities dispatched another helicopter the following day and searched the surrounding area. They discovered fragments of human bones, some with traces of animal bites. Several bones were broken, possibly while the individual was still alive. In a separate area near the SOS sign, police also discovered a hole just large enough to fit a single human. Inside, they discovered 4 cassette tapes, a tape recorder, a backpack, a human skull, a tripod, a pair of men's athletic shoes, 2 cameras, and a notebook. They also discovered the driver's license of Kenji Iwamura, a 25-year-old male office worker who had gone missing on July 10th of 1984. Iwamura had been staying at a lodge and had told the owner that he had planned to hike to Mount Asahi. While a short hike up, there are 2 large boulders that look nearly identical and are used as landmarks for those hiking down. One boulder is near a trail that crosses back and leads to a cliff, while the second leads back down to town. When Iwamura had failed to appear for work a week later, his parents asked police to search for him, but they had found no trace. One of the recorded tapes, along with music from several anime shows, police discovered a recording of the voice of a young man shouting. It's 2 minutes and 17 seconds long, and the man can be heard to loudly, slowly, and deliberately enunciate each part of the following. SOS, help me. I can't move on the cliff. SOS, help me. The place is where I first met the helicopter. The sasa is deep, and you can't go up. Lift me up from here. An acquaintance of Iwamura later gave testimony that he had been carrying a recording of the anime show theme song on a tape, and the shoes discovered were the same size and a similar style to a pair Iwamura was known to own. It's uncertain what helicopter the person may have been referring to. The remains were also found in a marsh, not near any cliff, though predatory animals could have moved the remains over time. The reason for the recording of the S.O.S tape isn't certain. No other voice can be heard on the tape, and no evidence exists that the person on the recording was trying to speak to anyone specifically. Authorities speculated that the person may have been preemptively recording it to play for rescuers in case they were unable to speak, or that it was accidentally switched on and recorded while the man was yelling for help. Many have speculated that the man yelling was Iwamura, but when his parents were asked about the recording, they said they could not confirm that the man on the recording was their son. The bones were sent to Asahidake Medical University and were identified initially of those of a woman 20 to 40 years old. However, there was no record of a missing woman in the area matching that description, and Iwamura was said to have gone alone to the mountain. The identity of the woman and the potential relationship to Iwamura was unknown and caused confusion in the investigation and media coverage. Authorities later revised their assessment, stating that they now believe the remains to be those of a male. To this day, Iwamura has been missing for 37 years and is believed by authorities to be deceased, but from what I can find, the remains have never been formally identified as being his. We just covered 5 very disturbing and very mysterious things from Japan. I really hope you guys enjoyed this new format, and if you have any suggestions that you would like me to cover in a later entry, please let me know. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.